Hey y'all, so in this video, I am going to show you step by step how to dip your candy apples. First, I did clean these candy apples and the recipe is attached in the ebook. You will need to boil some water, add some vinegar and some baking soda. Once the water boils, dip each apple for about 10 seconds, take the apples out, rinse them off, and then wipe them down with a paper towel. I do this process of at least 1 or 2 days before it is time for me to actually dip my apples in the candy mixture. When I'm ready to dip my apples, I will add a wooden skewer stick to each apple and then a colorful paper straw to match the color or theme of the apples that I'm going to dip. Now it's time for me to add the ingredients for the recipe. And for my recipe, I use 4 cups of sugar, 1 cup of Karo syrup, and 1 cup of water. Because I'm only dipping these apples, I'm dipping using 3 different colors. I'm sorry, to dip these apples, I'm only using half of the recipe for each color. So for the first 6, I broke the recipe in half and only did 2 cups of sugar, a half a cup of water, and half a cup of Karo syrup. And I did that 3 times because I'm doing 3 of the apples white, 3 of the apples gold, and 3 of the apples black. And I did not want to be stuck with a lot of excess mixture left. So that's why I cut the mixture in half. Once I have all of the ingredients in my pot, I turn the stove on and I begin to let my mixture heat up. I do stir it occasionally to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. And after about 15 or 20 minutes, I will add my candy thermometer in it to see what the temperature is. Once the temperature gets close to 250 degrees, I will go ahead and add my flavoring into my mixture and stir it up. After that, I add my white coloring first. And for this, I'm not adding any other color because again, I said I needed to dip some white apples, gold apples, and black apples. So for the first set, these are going to be all white. And as you can see, the mixture is at 300 and now it is time for me to dip my apples. And I do this in a 360-degree motion. Once I dip the apple into the mixture, I turn it around, shake off the excess, and then wipe the bottom against the top of the pot. I kind of hold the apple upside down a little bit to get any to stop it from dripping, and then I place it on my silicone mat. As you can see, I noticed some of these apples still had a little water bubbles on them, and if you don't want the tiny holes coming through your candy mixture, you might want to go ahead and wipe these apples off again. So that's what you saw me doing. I just went ahead and re-wiped these apples off because I noticed some of them still had a few some perspiration coming through the apples, which is okay, no big deal. So next I'm going to dip the gold apples, but again, I am drying these off again because I don't want any water getting through and holes coming in my apples once I dip them in the candy mixture. Once I have them all wiped off again, I go ahead and dip them in my gold candy mixture. And for this, I used a gold, I forget the name of, but I'll add the name of the gold that I used in the comments. I added some flavoring first, added just a drop or 2 of white coloring, and then I'm adding my gold shimmery color. And I added a little more because I felt like it wasn't as gold as I wanted it at first. So I went ahead and added a little more gold until it was the gold that I preferred. Once I had that gold mixture ready, I went ahead and dipped these apples in a 360-degree motion, shake off the excess, scrape the bottom against the pot, hold the apple upside down just for a second so it doesn't drip, and then place it on my silicone mat. Make sure you don't place your apples too close and they stick together because once they touch one another, it is very hard to get them apart. So make sure you're leaving about an inch or 2 between each apple when you're placing them on your mat once you've dipped them into your candy mixture. And for the last color, I am dipping these apples in black. I added some more flavoring. And now I am going to add my black food coloring. I am not adding any white because I don't want the white to alter the color. I need these apples to be as dark and as black as possible. Some people add a few drops of yellow. I did not. I just simply added black gel coloring, and I believe the brand that I used was Wilton's. Once I added enough black and felt like it was dark enough, I went ahead and started to dip these apples as well. Again, I'm dipping them in a 360-degree motion, shaking off any excess candy, scraping it against the top of the pot, holding the apple upside down just for a brief second, and then placing it down on my silicone mat. I continue this process until all apples have been dipped and I am done. I did spray a little gold or silver shimmer on these apples just to give them a little more like a little shine. Although I was already shiny, I wanted them to have like a little bling shine to them. So as you can see, I'm spraying them with a little silver dust just to make them pop a little bit more. And now my apples are complete. I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, or you can send me a message directly. Until next time.